Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. So in this video we're going to watch a very juicy, actually two very juicy videos where Kevin O'Leary is literally being grilled on CNBC for looking like an idiot for investing with Sam Bankman Fried, and then on top of it saying that he would invest with Sam Bankman Fried again, provided he did nothing wrong. And he's going to explain the due diligence that they have done and that Sam Bankman Fried called him a few days ago, and what was the comm cycle that they had, what they spoke about. So very, very juicy interview, very tough questions. I think you're going to like it. Please make sure you're subscribed if you like this content. And if you want to support the channel, why not check out the Patreon link in the description box below. And let's enjoy this video.
I want to understand how much money you lost in the contract, but I also want to understand how the investment and this ambassadorship happened. At the time that it happened, you did disclose it. But I want to understand how you went from calling crypto garbage at one point, as you know, to deciding that this was something that you were going to stand behind.
Yes, I recall that conversation, calling it garbage, right here on this show in 2017. That was a time when a New York hotel was being tokenized here, and I was looking at that, and the regulator let me know they were not happy with that idea. And that's when I...
By the way, I just want to point out how humble Kevin O'Leary is. This is not the beast, Mr. Wonderful, that we're used to from Shark Tank. He is a dog that has his tails between his two legs, and he's very humbled by this. You can see from how he's...
stepped away from this because clearly the regulatory environment was not prepared. Then facts changed. I saw the Canadians issue the first ETF with Bitcoin is underlying, Ethereum, then Switzerland opened up, then Australia opened up. And then I said, wait a second, world's changing, I got to be an investor. And that started my journey. I'm an investor in the largest regulated exchange in Canada called WonderFi. The wallets are called BitBuy. We're regulated by the OSC. I have my accounts up there. Right. But I felt that getting involved when I was approached with Sam Bankman Fried, that I could get an inside seat on what was considered then. And I got to tell you, the institutional interest in FTX on the U.S. equity was unbelievable. The amount of people that approached me saying, how do I get a piece of this deal? And I said at that time, I am a paid spokesperson. I cannot bring you as an LP. Not a single dollar that I lost is anybody else's money except mine. That's important for me because that's an issue.
How much were you paid?
Total deal was just under $15 million, all in, including a bunch of agents that I had to pay because I needed SAG-AFTRA release to be able to do commercials for it. And when I did that, I put about $9.7 million into crypto. I think that's what I've lost. It's all at zero. I don't know because my account got scraped a couple of weeks ago. All the data, all the coins, everything. So. And then I lost the money I invested in the equity as well. Those are zeros too. It was not a good investment, Andrew. Okay, I don't make great investments all the time. Luckily, I make more good ones than bad ones, but that was a bad one.
Okay, let me ask you this though.
Fantastically humble, and this is true for all investors. And you know, it's so easy for us to judge, but if you have been investing in the stock market, you know that some investments that you make will turn out to be bad ones, and it's just something that is part of the game, and you have to live with it.
When you made this arrangement, this is back in August 10th, 2021, you said the following. You said, to find crypto investment opportunities that met my own rigorous standards, that was your phrase, of compliance, I entered into this relationship with FTX. It has some of the best crypto exchange offerings I've seen on the market. Yes. Given that you were the spokesman and ambassador for this company,
yes, because
what kind of diligence did you do around this issue of compliance, given where we sit today?
I obviously know all the institutional investors in this deal. We all look like idiots. Let's put that on the table, okay? We relied on each other's due diligence, but we also relied on another investment theme that I felt drove a lot of interest in FTX. Sam Bankman Fried is an American. His parents are American compliance lawyers. There were no other American large exchanges to invest in if you wanted to invest in crypto as an infrastructure play. So many of us said, wait a second, who's coming to this deal? We knew, for example, that Tiger...
This sounds like groupthink.
My God. I mean, look, now it's obvious that it was a fraud, right? But if you come to an investor meeting and you're like, yeah, I'm an American guy, my parents are compliance lawyers, and, you know, that just builds a lot of trust. And then you look around the table and, you know, you're Kevin O'Leary, and you look and there's BlackRock there, you know, there's Sequoia Capital there, and, you know, all these big names are investing, then your guards go pretty down. So yeah, I think that this Sam Bankman Fried guy got very lucky with his circumstances, and he used that to dupe a lot of people. And yeah, these people just fell asleep at the wheel, let their guards down, and billions are lost.
Did you know there was no CFO?
Look, at the end of the day, to say that there was no CFO is also a bit of a falsehood. This was a nascent industry with a disruptor at its helm, creating positions that didn't have traditional names, okay? That's just the way it was. In retrospect, yes, it's a mistake. However, I feel obliged at this point to go to the end of this, particularly...
What does that mean?
It means that I need to find where the money went. I'm going to start with my own journey, with my own account. Bankman Fried reached out to me last Saturday. And I said, look, Sam, I am just one investor, but my account has a zero in it, and there are no accounting records. Where did the money go? And to the extent you can help me, tell me, point me in the direction, because I will, on behalf of every other shareholder, go find where this money is. The next day we talked for over an hour, and he walked me through his scenario, and I learned a lot.
Now, so
sorry?
What did you learn?
I learned, first of all, I said, what was the large drawdown of your capital? Where did the cash go? One of the biggest uses of cash was to buy back his shares from Binance, which owns 20% of his exchange. And the reason he had to do that, according to him, was that every time they applied for a license anywhere, the Know Your Client got jammed up with Binance, where the ownership is opaque. And he had to buy it back. That cost him a lot. Couple of $1 billion.
But do you think that he was taking customer funds to do that?
Yeah. Did he take that money from customers to get it?
Well, the only way to answer that question, and I told him, and he agreed. I said, look, Sam, you start this journey with me, and wherever the chips fall, that's on you. Because, you know, we're talking about this. I'm going to pursue it. I agreed last night when Pat Toomey called me to sit on that committee next week. I will be a witness there.
You plan to testify?
I've agreed to testify. He called me last night around 8 o'clock. I agreed to testify. I've spent a lot of my time on the Hill.
So that was one video. Very good question. Here's the next one. Even more juicy questions. Very interesting to watch.
You, over the years, as somebody who is an investor and a successful investor, and they follow you. That's the point of why they...
Yes.
Right? And so they're looking at this and saying, what kind of compliance did this guy do? And just asking around and seeing who else was investing is not compliance unto itself.
Well, we did compliance, and the way we did it, we said, let's look at the platform and let's see if it can link to our actual reporting systems. Is it robust enough to allow us to be compliant? Because I also issue securities through other investments.
But
like
did you ask
and
questions about, for example, I mean, look, the board piece of it, the CFO piece of it, all of those would be considered compliance red flags. But
Andrew, if you're asking, did I do enough due diligence, the answer is no. Did I rely like others did in Joe's concept of groupthink? Yes, we all did that.
But did you ask, though, about the relationship between Alameda and FTX?
At that time, Alameda was just another account in FTX, okay?
By the way, not just another account. At some point, it might have represented close to 50% of the business that was even on FTX.
And there is where I call you out and say, how do you know that if you have no records? And my whole point about this is all of these allegations, all these claims, all this Sam Bankman Fried took money out, took it in, whatever. Nobody knows because there's no data. That data, as I learned, according to Sam, is sitting on a server backed up on AWS. Right now, all roads lead to John Ray, it seems. Sam says he can flip the switch. I need that data. I can't go get the money unless I have the data where it went.
Here's what I don't understand. I mean, you're right. Everybody who we thought were savvy investors can look at this and say, we should have seen the signs. We should have known. I listened to the interview that Andrew did with him at DealBook, and I thought, that guy's a crook and a liar. you listened to it and said you'd invest money with him again if it turns out there's nothing criminally wrong here. What did you hear that I didn't hear?
The context of that is I have been known for decades to invest in entrepreneurs that have had catastrophic outcomes, bad ones, because they learn a lot from their mistakes. It may not fit for Sam Bankman Fried because we don't know the outcome or what's going to occur.
Yeah, but all I can say is...
So interesting. Watch how much he skirts around the question if there is fraud or not. And I believe he has a very good reason to do that. And that's because Sam Bankman has a direct comm line to him. And obviously, if he would go to the media and say that I'm pretty sure that this guy committed fraud, then he would lose that comm line and it would be very hard to get more information out. I mean, you have to understand that Kevin O'Leary is a crypto ambassador, and I'm sure that he wants to find out what has happened more than anything because it moves his other crypto investments forward. So it's just very interesting how he's tiptoeing around this question.
Everything he said, oh, I just didn't realize. You didn't realize there was an $8 billion hole. You didn't realize that there was like these clients' funds that were being swapped over there. It's not his fault. Like that to me is like, man, that guy has bad news. That's not just you had bad luck. He was lying and manipulating.
You don't know because you have no data. All I'm saying is let's do the forensic audit. Let's do the forensic audit. Let's find out what happened. I owe everybody that follows me, as you said, Andrew, I owe them that information. I feel compelled to go get it. I am going to go get it. I'm lucky. I have resources to do it.
Let me ask you this. The FTT token, which was one of the sort of underlying component parts, the sort of collateral that was used in part for this entire...
It is not unusual for an exchange to have a token. Look at Binance. They have one too.
So my question to you, though, is you say you own it, which is now obviously close to worthless.
I don't know where it is, but I own it. It was scraped out of my account.
Did you buy it? Did you have to buy it? Because one of the things that people have raised is this idea that there was a period of time, especially as things got more dicey for the firm over the summer, that he was pushing people to either buy it and hold it. Some people look at the acquisition of BlockFi as a way to effectively defensively protect against that valuation of FTT going down because of their stake in it. I mean, do you think there was manipulation in that regard?
I don't think so. I asked, because I have a rule in our shop that I don't want more than 5% in any one position. So I said, I'm going to buy a series of tokens and positions. And I owned 32 of them, about that. 30, 32, I can't remember exactly. But we had a lot of diversity. Some of them were FTT, some were locked up. There was Serum, Solana, Bitcoin, Ethereum, et cetera, and USDC. I just want to make a point, though. You know, this doesn't change the potential for what crypto can be at all. This is no different than Enron or maybe Lehman or Bear Stearns or whatever you want. You don't know the outcome yet. You have to pursue it. You have to do the forensic audit. Enron goes to zero. And I think Toomey said this himself. It didn't change energy trading. Who cares? If Sam Bankman Fried did anything wrong, we're going to find out through that forensic
What do you
audit.
think?
Watch the TikTok.
You know, I don't know. And I'm going to follow the path and be part of the process. I also should disclose to you that I applied for the credit committee just before midnight last night. There will only be 7 members on it. There's thousands of people that want to be on that credit committee, but I think I have a unique view from the inside out, and I think I can be helpful there as a fiduciary. I am going to drive the process if I can.
Super interesting. So it looks like he's going to be part of the bankruptcy board and the bankruptcy committee. And we're going to have some more juicy information. So I'm pretty sure that there's going to be documentaries made about this. There has never been a time in history when so much wealth was collapsed in so little time. And it's very fascinating and how so many great investors were duped. So let me know in the comments, do you have the same fascination about this as me? And please make sure you're subscribed. Let me know if this was a good video or not, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.